Jelson, that was a really nice talk, and I learned myself a lot. For those who couldn't come to the conference, could you maybe give a very short summary?
Thank you, Alex. So what we discussed in this lecture was RFID, and in the center was RFID. What is RFID? How can this be simulated? RFID is radio frequency identification. I tried to explain them that there are several technologies, several frequencies we can use. And I showed them practical examples on the simulation software where the antenna has been designed and simulated, and showed some practical examples where we had some capacitor and adjusted antenna for some medical applications.
Thank you. So you said simulation software, and I think that was HFSS. So how important was HFSS for Identiv, and what was your role in the simulation process?
HFSS is key for us. So before we start any project or before we present the customer any solution, we try to use HFSS to simulate the antenna, simulate the design, show some basic concepts, and going from the concept to the project stage, and go in the prototype stage and then to production stage. If something fails in the prototyping stage, we go back to HFSS. And my role is to simulate, design, engineer the antennas.
And how did HFSS impact your development cycle? I'd assume it would make it shorter, but let you talk here.
The development cycle is much shorter with HFSS. So basically in the past there had been used some calculation tools to estimate the antenna length, and this leads to several iterations, several designs of experience, up to 5 to 6 to have a suitable design. With HFSS we simulate the antenna, we do our calculations first, simulate the antenna, get prototyping, and we reduce it to maximum 2 iterations. Identiv IoT is a full solution provider. So from the drawing board to the final product, we do everything. So our journey with a project starts when we design the antenna on the drawing board. Then we transition to HFSS, simulate the antenna. Then after that we go to the prototyping stage. We develop the prototype, we tune the prototype. Eventually we go back to HFSS and see if we can do some more optimizations. After that we go into production and we do the primary process, setting the IC, going to the secondary process with laminating the label. Then we have something like a sticker or a smart label, a smart sticker. It's a very thin product, but with RF inside. So that's what we do in Identiv, and everything comes from the Identiv. So we are not going to any other manufacturer and going to get some aid here. We do everything ourselves.
Where do you see your projects in the future? What like the developments and next 2 or 3 years? Yeah.
So we see more and more custom antennas needed. So they are off-the-shelf solutions, but we need more and more custom solutions, because the passive antennas, they are much sensitive to the environment, and the more RFID is known, the more it's been used in the world. So if it's a plastic or pellet, this makes a huge difference. So we see the market demand is very high here.
Yeah, this is for me the most interesting part, where you showed that like this tuner where it adapts to the environment. So that was really, really impressed.
And especially at those stages, right? We're using currently a simulation tool for only the antenna, but we think about the bigger picture. So how can we optimize our production? How can we optimize some other steps? And here we are investigating how simulation actually could also help us in other production stages. So here we have a focus on Ansys Mechanical to use this tool. We are evaluating these points and how efficient we can get with those simulation tools.
And like any new trends in the RFID market, you mentioned like this custom or bespoke. Apart from that, anything new? I mean, I also heard from conferences like chipless RFIDs. Could you maybe shed some light on these new developments?
Sure. So the trend currently is identification, right? Everyone wanted to have their device connected. So I know where my device is. I have a electronic serial number for my device. But this trend is now shifting and transition to something more. Everyone has the identification. Now they want something more like sensors. They want to know what is the temperature of my device. Is my device already activated or not? Is my device some fake device? So sensoring and cryptography is a very important part in this trend.
And in that grand scheme, where do you see CADFEM and Ansys? What role can we help you? We're very keen to help.
CADFEM helped us in the past with several sensor projects, so providing additional simulation software, something like Q3D or Maxwell. And we try to use those tools, so the right tools for the right requirements. And here we rely on the CADFEM and Ansys.
Okay. Jelson, that was a pleasure having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex.